We're in Hyde County at the site of the Blackland Farm Managers Tour, August the 2nd, 2016. We're looking at our maximum yield test that's supported by the North Carolina soybean producers with their checkoff funds. Test where we're trying to do as much as we can to jack yields up and then sequentially subtract treatments out as a way to measure what's that treatment contributing to yield. So we're intentionally trying to work with a high yielding environment here, trying to do as much as we know how to do it right in terms of yield. Started with the variety that we think will do best in a 60 bushel environment. Not necessarily the best one overall, but the one that'll do best in the 60 bushel environment. These fields that our farmers are counting on pulling the farm average up, not down. We're going to intentionally get to rows 20 inches or under. We happen to be in 15-inch rows here, but we've got quite a bit of data from quite a few years that says that row widths 20 inches or under will yield higher than anything wider than 20. Wanted to plant by the middle of May. We didn't quite get that done. We did get planted in May. Wanted to make sure I got them 3 feet tall so that we get enough leaves to capture as much sunlight as soybeans know how to capture. I think that's probably the most critical single element we've got. We've got several things that we could change to accomplish that. Row width obviously is one. Planting date is one. Maturity of the variety is another one. As we go to a later maturing variety, we gain more days to get the plant big enough. But I think we've got to get that leaf area index of 4. We've got to get those plants big enough to lap the middles and be about 3 feet tall. That's, at the population most of our farmers plant, that's typically getting awfully close to that leaf area index of 4. We've looked at some seed treatments, several seed treatments. Last year they didn't show much. They didn't show much this year. So at least in the high yielding environment, we haven't noticed a big difference on them. We did try the foliar fungicides, and that's been one of the biggest increases. Altogether, we're using 3 different fungicides, 3 different times. We got about 7 bushels the acre last year, had increase where we used the fungicides as opposed to where we did not use them. We also looked at some foliar fertilizers, but did not get much of a boost out of that. So the foliar fungicides gave us a boost. The row width did. So row width is going to become more important as we keep moving our yield goals up, not less important. The other thing that did make a difference was variety. As we switched from the variety that yields highest in a 60 bushel environment to the variety that yields highest overall, we had about a 3.5 bushel difference. So going to the varieties that do yield highest in a 60 bushel environment pays off in these higher yielding environments. The 1 year results, it's hard to know whether that's because of the treatments we had in there or because the way those treatments responded to the 2015 weather. Do it again in 2016, we get around some of that. If we do it again in 2017, and our intention is, we'll get around more of it and get closer to what's really a treatment effect as opposed to what's really a weather effect.